Hello friends, once again I am your Onity ma'am and today I am here with your chapter number 4 supplementary, a question of trust. It's a very good story full of mystery and thrill. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy a lot and it will gives you a very good moral that whom we should trust and whom we should not. A Question of Trust by Victor Canning. As I told you that it's a very mysterious as well as thrilling story. So I hope it will gives you a lot of enjoyment for this. Yes, about the author. So Victor Canning was born on 16 June 1911 and he was died at 21st February 1986. He was a prolific British writer of novels and thrills who flourished in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. He was personally reticent, writing no memories and giving relatively few newspaper interviews. So he was not that much popular, but he was a good and prolific British writer regarding novels and thrills. And this one was the thrillers, one of the thrillers. Introduction. This is a story about a man named Horace Denby who is 50 years old and everyone around him thinks that he is a good and honest man. He used to build locks and used to earn enough profit so that he can manage or he can keep or hire two servants to help him. He was sent to a jail once about 15 years ago because he used to commit robbery every year. This year, when he goes to a house for a robbery, he meets a woman who pretended to be the owner of the house. Later, when he leaves from there and is arrested after 2-3 days, he comes to know the truth of the lady. Okay, so he used to do robbery every year, and this year he goes to a house for a robbery. There he met one woman lady. After 2-3 days, when he was arrested by police, at that time he comes to know the truth of that lady. Okay, first para. Everyone thought that Danby was a good, honest citizen. He was about 50 years old and unmarried, and he lived with a housekeeper who worried over his health. So, Horace Danby was a 50 years old man. He was unmarried and lived with his housekeeper. So, the housekeeper used to worry about his health. In fact, he was usually very well and happy except for attacks of hay fever in summer. He made loaves and was successful enough at this his business to have two helpers. Yes, Horace Danby was good and respectable, but not completely honest. 15 years ago, Horace had served his first and only sentence in a prison library. Though he was fit and fine but used to have a hay fever attacks in summer. It's a kind of allergic uh, 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 this disease regarding allergy. So because of dust allergy they are suffering from cold and fever. So he used to have a hay fever attacks in summer. He used to make logs and used to earn a profit that was enough for him to hire two helpers for his work. Means he has a good earning source. He used to make logs, so he have enough profit that he can hire two helpers for his work. Everybody used to think that he was a good and honest citizen, but nobody knew that he had gone to jail about 15 years ago and served a sentence in the prison library. Okay, but nobody knows that he was sent to a prison 15 years ago. His sentence in a prison library. Okay, He loved rare, expensive books, so he robbed a safe every year. Each year, he planned carefully just what he would do, stolen enough to last for 12 months, and secretly bought the books he loved through an agent. Now, walking in the bright July sunshine, he felt sure that this year robbery was going to be successful as all the others. Now, he got his love for rare and expensive book from there, and every year he used to steal money that would last him for a year, and with the rest of the money he used to buy books through a secret agent. Now, why he is doing this kind of illegal act of robbing person? Because he has a hobby and lots of love towards the rare and expensive books, because he was there in the jail as a prison library. He was there as a librarian in jail, so he has developed the love towards books over there, and that is why he is doing every year one robbery to get that expensive and rare books from the particular agents. And this year, during the summers of July, he was sure that he would steal as easily without getting caught as he used to do every other summer. So he would not caught by anyone, and he can easily do his robbery for his upcoming rare and expensive books. For 2 weeks he had been studying the house at Shotover Grange, looking at his room, its electric wiring, its paths, and its garden. This afternoon, the two servants who remained in the Grange while the family was in London had gone to the movies. Horace saw them go, and he felt happy in spite of a little tickle of hay fever in his nose. He came out from behind the garden wall, his tools carefully packed in a bag on his back. Now, he was this year during the summer of July, he was sure that he would steal as easily without getting caught as he used to do every summer. He studied the house for over 2 weeks, studying the smallest details such as electric wiring, paths, and garden area. That specific day when he thought that he would do robbery, the servants who were supposed to stay back on the days when the family went to London, and this servant went out for a movie. Horace saw them leaving and was happy. Instead of being worried about the tickle in his nose due to hay fever, he then left with a bag that had his tools. So he was happy. He was not thinking about his hay fever, and he was happy because now he got money and he can buy his expensive and rare books. So he was in somehow he was very enthusiastic as well as very happy. So he, instead of worrying his hay fever, he was in the mood of the getting money, and he was there with his bag in which he found tools. There were about £15,000 worth of jewels in the Grange safe. If he sold them one by one, he expected to get at least 5,000, enough to make him happy for one another year. There were 3 very interesting books coming up for sale in the autumn. Now he would get the money he wanted to buy them. Okay, so now he says that there were about £15,000. Okay, pounds means a basic monetary unit of the UK, equal to 100 pence. Autumn means the season after summer and before winter in the northern Hampshire from September to November, and southern Hampshire March to May. Stirred, move or cause to move slightly, tickle in a way that cause mild discomfort or itching and often laughter. Sneeze, make a sudden involuntary explosion of air from the nose and mouth due to irritation of nostrils. Burglar means a person who commits theft, and hindering means make it difficult for someone to do something, for something to happen. Okay, so this is the hard words coming through this paragraphs are different. So, according to Horace, there were about 15,000 pounds worth of jewels in the Grange safe. He thought that even if he sold them one by one, he would get at least 5,000 pounds that would keep him happy and content for 1 year. Now he says that 15,000 pound worth jewels are there in Grange, and if he thought that even if he sold them one by one, then he would get at least 5,000 pounds that would keep him happy and content for another 1 year. Okay. He also thought about 3 books that were coming up in the autumn, and he thought that now he would have the money needed to buy those books. He had seen the housekeeping hang the key to the kitchen door on a hook outside. He put on a pair of gloves, took the key, and opened the door. He was always careful not to leave any fingerprints. A small dog was laying in the kitchen. It stared, made a noise, and moved its tail in a friendly way. All right, Sherry, Horace said as he passed. Now he saw that housekeeper of the Grange hang the keys on the hook outside the kitchen door. So he took key with the gloves on his hand so as not to leave any fingerprints over there. He opened the door of the Grange and used to be very careful about the fingerprints. He then saw a small dog sleeping in the kitchen. The dog moved a bit, made a noise, and then moved his tail in a friendly way. So this is how he observed the house from 2 weeks. So he have every idea about the each and every corner he knows. So he has a whole idea about the house, how to enter, what to do, what not to do. So he has keeping all this thing in his mind, and he is taking all the safety measurements with him. So he used to wear a glove so no fingerprints were found at a certain place. All you had to do to keep dogs quiet was to call them by their right names and show them love. The safe was in the drawing room, behind a rather poor painting. Horace wondered for a moment whether he should collect pictures instead of books, but they took up too much room. In a small house, books were better. So now dog moved a bit, made a noise, and then moved his tail in a friendly way. So Horace then said that, all right, Sherry, which was the name of the dog. And he knew that the trick to keep dog quiet was to call them by their names and show them a bit of love. So if you are dealing with an unknown animal or a pet animal, then what you have to do, if you call them by their name and show love towards them, then they can easily calm down. Okay, so this was known to him. So he called that dog with his name Sherry, and show some love towards that, and it will help him to make dog calm so no one can understand. Okay, the safe of the Grange was in the drawing room. It was hidden behind a painting. So, looking at the painting at a moment, he thought that he should start collecting paintings rather than the books. But then he thought that it would be better to collect books in a small house because pictures require larger space. So, books are there. Stealing book is a good thing, not rather than painting, because it need a more space, and in a small house, books are better than this pictures. There was a great ball of flour on the table, and Horace felt this nose trickle. He gave a little sneeze and then put down his bag. He carefully arranged his tools. He had 4 hours before the servants returned. The safe was not going to be hard to open. After all, he had lived with locks and safes all his life. The burglar alarms was poorly built, he went into the hall to cut its wire. Now, then, as he moved forward to show a bowl of flowers on the table, and his nose was tickled due to the hay fever, and the smell of the flowers also irritating him, so he arranged his tools and so that he had about 4 hours until the housekeeper returned, and he was sneezing one because of the smell of flower. The safe would not have been difficult to open as he had lived with safes and locks all his life and the burglar system. Okay. He went into the hall to cut the wires of the burglar system, so that alarm system. So he cut the wires of that so no one get the idea that some unknown person is in the house. Okay. So he observed all the things because of he is suffering from this hay problem, hay fever. So he was there was a little bit tickling in his nose, and one or two sneeze, he was sneezing one or twice. Okay. And he just go and cut the wire of this alarm so no one can understand that some unknown person or burglar in the house. He came back and sneezed loudly as the small smell of the flowers came to him again. How foolish people are when they own valuable things, Horace thought. A magazine article had described this house, giving a plan of all the rooms and a picture of this room. The writer had even mentioned that the painting hid a safe, but Horace found that the flowers were hindering him in his work. He buried his face in his handkerchief. Now he went to the hall to cut the wires of burglar system. He again sneezed loudly as the smell of the flowers come to him again, and it's irritating him. He was thinking to himself that how foolish these rich people are when they had valuable things, as he recalled that the whole plan of the house, including the information about the safe, was given in a magazine. He showed that the smell of the flower was constantly making him sneeze loudly, so he put a handkerchief on his face and continued his work. So, while continuing his work, he was thinking that how foolish these rich people are. Because in one magazine they have given the whole plan of the house, as well as the writer also disclosed the information that the particular safe is hindered behind this uh, painting. So this is the foolish one. This supposed to be things that you haven't disclosed, but the magazine writer disclosed this. So so he considered this rich people as a fool one. And he was also not able to work properly because of the smell of flower constantly making him irritation, and this hay fever is increasing because of this, and that is why his sneezing was coming. His sneezing was being a bit louder, and that is why for him it is not possible to deal with this. So he has become more and more uh, you know not getting a concentration, but though he tried to concentrate on his work only. Then he heard a voice say from the doorway, "What is it? A cold or a hay fever?" Before he could think, Horace said, "Hay fever," and found himself sneezing again. The voice went on, "You can cure it with a special treatment. If you find out just what plant gives you this is the disease, I think you would better see a doctor if you are serious about your work. I heard you from the top of the house just now. Now we will find the another entry of a person. So then somebody from the doorway asked him that was it a cold or was it a hay fever. Okay, now doorway, it's an entrance to a room or a building through a door. Ornaments are things used to serving to make something look more attractive, but usually having no practical purpose, especially a small object such as a figurine. Amused. finding something funny or entertaining, hesitated, pause in a indecisions before saying or doing something. Frighten makes someone afraid or anxious. Persuade means induce someone to do something through reasoning or argument. Okay, so this is the hard words you will find come through the next paragraph. Then somebody from the doorway asked him that was it is a cold or was it a hay fever? And Horace quickly replied that it's a hay fever, and he again sneezed. The other person then continued and told him that he could cure it, provided he knew which flower caused the allergy and that he should see a doctor if he wanted to be a good thief. Then it will create more trouble. So rather you can contact with a good doctor. So you will get the better idea that which flower caused the allergy to you. Then the other person said that his sneezing could be heard from the top floor of the house, and that is why the person is there at the downstairs. It was a quiet, kindly voice, but one with a firmness in it. A woman was standing. A woman was standing in the doorway, and Sherry was rubbing against her. She was young, quite pretty, and was dressed in red. She walked to the fireplace and straightened. The ornaments is there. Down, Sherry, she said. Okay, now then the other person said that his sneezing could be heard from the top floor, the house. The voice was calm and firm. Then he got a bit nervous as he saw a woman standing in the doorway. The woman was young, pretty, and dressed in red color. She walked towards him and arranged the decoration kept on the fireplace. Then she ordered the dog to stay away and said that people might be thinking that she was away for a month, but she was back in time and didn't expect a burglar to welcome her back at her house. Okay, so basically, she was a very calm person. After seeing this kind of a man burglar in your house, one can't be like so calm like this. But she was a quiet and kindly voice, and she was standing in the doorway, and she quieted the dog also, and she was in a red dress. She walked the fireplace and straightened the ornaments there, and down Sherry she said. Then she ordered the dog to stay away and said that people might be thinking anyone would think I would been away for a month. She smiled at Horace and went on, however, I come back just in time. Though I didn't expect to meet a burglar. Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused at meeting him. He might avoid trouble if he treated her the right way. He replied, I didn't expect to meet one of the family. She nodded. I see. What an inconvenience it is for you to meet me. What are you going to do? Horace said. My first thought was to run. Okay. Now she says that she ordered dog to stay away and said that people might be thinking that she was away for a month and she was back in time, but she didn't expect a burglar to welcome her back at her house. And Horace was a bit hopeful as he saw that the woman was amused rather than being panicked on seeing a burglar. So he thought that if he treated her well and didn't do anything wrong, then she might let him go. He also told her amusingly that he also didn't expect to meet a family member either, as he had thought that there was no one at home. And then she says that how she realized that what an inconvenience she was to him, and asked him what would he do now, and he replied that at first he wanted to run away. So now there is a good conversation between these two people. So she says that someone understand that for a month I was not there, but I am here at a time, and And Horace says that as a good burglar, I was also not expecting that I will meet any family member. And then she replied that okay, now I can get the idea that because of me, how inconvenience create to you, that now you cannot do robbery. And he feels that if she is not panicking and talking with me in amusing way, so he thought that if I being nice to her, then she'll let me go. And Horace said, and she is asking that what are you doing? And Horace said that my first thought was to run. He wanted to run. The woman, of course, you could do that, but I would telephone the police and tell them all about you. They would get you at once, Horace said. I would, of course, cut the telephone wire first and then. He hesitated, a smile on his face. I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. She looked at him seriously. You would hurt me. Horace paused and then said, I think I was trying to frighten you when I said that you didn't frighten me. Now the woman replied that could you he could so do so, but she would call the police and let them know that he was robbing her house and they would catch him. Horace replied that he would obviously cut the telephone wire first and then he would do something to her so that she was not able to do anything for a few hours. She looked at him seriously and asked him that would he hurt her. Horace replied that he was just saying that to frighten her. She was not frightened by what he said, and Horace then told her that it would be better that she forgot that she ever saw him and let him go. Okay, sorry. So, uh, this Horace tried to run away, and she says that of course you can do that, but I have tell police, so they can come anytime to take you away. And he says that you won't do anything because first of all I have cut the wires of telephone, so you won't be able to do that. She looked at him seriously and asked him that would he hurt her. And Horace replied that he's just saying that he was trying to frighten her and she was not frightened by him what he said. And um, she says that you were you were trying to threaten me, but I won't. Horace suggested it would be nice if you would forget you ever saw me. Let me go. The voice is suddenly sharper. Why should I? You were going to rob me. If I let you go, you will only rob someone else. Society must be protected from men like you. Horace smiled. I am not a man who threatens society. I steal only from those who have a lot of money, steal for a very good reason, and I hate the thought of prison. Now, what happened? That Horace suggested that it would be nice. Now, Horace replied that he was just saying that to frighten her, and she was not frightened by what he said. And then Horace told her that it would be better that she forgot that she ever saw him and let him go. So suddenly he has changed his voice. And suddenly she spoke in a sharp and loud voice that, why should I let you go? He was there to rob her. And if she spared him, then he would go and rob someone else. She said that the society needed to be protected from people like him. And he smiled and said that he was not a threat to society, as he stole only from those people who had a lot of money. Also, he stole for a good reason, and he hated even the thought of going to a prison. Now he first tried to threaten that woman, but she won't. Then he tried to reply that, okay, you will think that you will not see a person like me. You didn't see a person like me, so please let me go. And I don't do this kind of things again. And at that time, the lady should started talking in a very sharp voice and said that, why should I spare you? You were here to robbing me. If I'll let you go, you will only you will rob someone else. Society must be protected from this from a person or man like you. And at that time, Horace smiled and says that I am not a man who threatens society. I steal only money from the person who have a lot of money, and I steal for a good reason. And I don't like the thought of prison. I don't want to go to prison. So please just let me be and let me go. He smiled and says that he was not a threat to a society, as he stole only from those people who had a lot of money. And he also stole for a good reason, and he hated even the thought of going to a prison. She laughed and he begged, thinking that he had pursued her. Look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate. Let me go, and I promise never to do this kind of thing again. I really mean it. She was silent, watching him closely. Then she said, you are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you? She came over to him, shaking her head. I have always liked the wrong kind of people. Now, what happened? She laughed at his reply, and he was begging her not to call the police. Horace was begging only because he thought that he had convinced her to let him go, and that is why he was begging that if I started begging, then she will let me go. He was desperately asking the woman not to go to the police and that he would surely stop robbing people. He also gave promise that I am not doing this. He stopped robbing people, but please don't call police. She then looked closely towards him and asked him that he was really afraid of going to the prison. That was he really going to the afraid of the prison? And she shook her head and said that she always liked the wrong kind of people. And this is the indication or hint for Horace that she was also a thief, but he did not pick the clue, and that is why he has to go to the cell. Okay, so she laughed, and he was started begging. He was thinking that if he pursued her, means he is begging her, he started begging her, then she spare her. But she says that no, you haven't. I have no right to ask such a things to him. And she says that I am desperate, and she get the things that he has a fear of getting to the prison. So she said that you was he really feared of going to the prison? And then she come over him and shaking her head and says that she always liked the wrong kind of person. And here is the another clue for Horace, but he won't be able to get that. She picked up a silver box from the table and took a cigarette from it. Horace, eager to please her and seeing that she might help him, took off his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter. You'll let me go. He held the lighter towards her. Yes, but only if you say, if you will do something for me, anything you say. Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I've left them here in the safe. The woman picked up a cigarette box made of a silver and took out a cigarette from that. Horace thought that if he pleased her, then she might help him. So he quickly removed his gloves and gave her gave her his cigarette lighter. After giving that, then he asked her that would she let him go and pointed the lighter towards her cigarette. She replied that yes, she would let him go, but only if he would do something that she wanted. Now he tried to convince her for spare him, and that is why when that lady picked up cigarette from that silver box, he removed his gloves and offer his cigarette lighter to the lady and ask him that if she allow him to go, and she said that okay, she will do that, but she has to do he has to do the things which she wanted. Horace quickly replied that he would do anything for her. The lady said that before going to London, she had promised her husband that she will put all the jewels in a bank, but she won't be able to do that. So now she wants that jewel from that safe. Grange. I want to wear them to a party tonight, so I came down to get them. But Horace smiled. You have forgotten the numbers to open the safe, haven't you? Yes, replied the young lady. Just leave it to me and you will have them within an hour. But I'll have to break your safe. Don't worry about that. My husband won't be here for a month and I'll have the safe mended by that time. So now what happened, that the lady says that she had to go to party now, but had forgotten the code of the locker, and Horace said that he would do it, but he would have to break the locker, to which she replied that he need not to worry about that, as her husband won't return in a month's time, and that she would get it repaired by then. So she says that don't worry, if you have to break uh, the safe, then you can do it, because my husband will won't come in a month's time, so I will repair it uh, by some other person sometime. So right now you just broke this locker for me. And within an hour, Horace had opened the safe, give her the jewels, and gone happily away. For 2 days he kept his promise to the kind young lady. On the morning of the third day, however, he thought of the books he wanted, and he knew he would have to look for another safe, but he never got the chance to begin his plan. By noon, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shotover Grange. Now, he thought about the books and he wanted to buy, started thinking that he would have to look for another. Okay, so for 2 days he kept his promises to the lady, and so Horace broke and opened the safe within an hour, gave her the jewelry, and left happily, thinking that he was safe now. For 2 days he kept his promises to the lady, and that he won't steal. But on a third day he thought about the books, and then he wanted to buy it, and started thinking that he would have to look for another lock to steal from. He couldn't even get the time to plan the next robbery, as he was arrested. A police officer came into the noon time to his house and arrested him, as his fingerprints were all over the Shotover Grange. No one believed him. Shotover Grange. His fingerprints, for he had opened the safe without gloves, were all over the room, and no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe for her. The wife herself, a grey-haired, sharp-tongued woman of 60, said that the story was nonsense. Horace is now the assistant librarian in the prison. He often thinks of the charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was, and who tricked him. He gets very angry when anyone talks about honor among thieves. Now he wanted to buy, and so he started planning next robbery, but he was arrested. A police officer came to his house and arrested him as his fingerprints were all over the Shootover Grange. No one believed him when he says that the owner's wife had asked him to open the safe. The actual wife of the owner was an old woman who was 60 years old and was a sharp tongued woman. As he says, that story was a nonsense because she had never met Horace before. Not to think of asking him to break open the safe. This means that young woman who had asked Horace to open the safe has pretended to be the owner's wife, and she was a thief. Then Horace becomes the assistant librarian at the jail and thought about the woman who, being from the same profession, tricked him and got him caught. He felt really angry when someone talked about honor among thieves. Now, what happened that no one will believe, because the real owner's wife was there. She was 60 years old woman with a gray hair, and she said that she never met this person before. Whatever story he was telling was a total nonsense. And now Horace is the assistant librarian. Yes, he was assistant librarian in the jail's library, and he was constantly thinking about that woman who is in the same profession as he was, and being and tricked by her. So he was that charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession and tricked him, and he gets very angry when someone says that honor among thieves, that thieves should honor the the other thieves, because it's a profession. They are in the same profession. So equal professions belongs to a equal profession. We must respect, or we must honor each other. And whenever this kind of things come across to him, he was very angry, because us girl belongs to a same profession make him fool, and he was being fooled by a girl, as well as um, he hate prison, and because of that girl now he is in the prison. So how someone make so it's a question of trust, that whom you trust and whom you not. So this is very important. He didn't even get a clue with the activity of the of this owner of the house. If she was the owner of the house, then she won't behave the way she was since started, right? No one can give permission or allow to broke your own the safe or locker. So this is how there are lots of clues were there, but how the author won't be Horace won't be able to get that clue, and he won't be able to understand the intention of a girl who is really trying to trick him. Yes, I would like to sum up with the quote that there is honor among thieves. Expectation should expectations is a big word. You should expect this kind of things to a person who has a morals in him. You can't expect this kind of things to a person who is selfish, who is a mean person. Okay, this sort of qualities you won't find in this kind of personality. So how you will find this? So it's a kind of a proverb that there is honor among thieves. Means a thief should honor the other thieves, but that won't be happen, because whenever it's about honor, such a big word, and you expect this from a good personality who has a good morals, good values, good ethics. While this kind of persons who are in that, no, they have their own ethics, but whenever they are in this kind of profession, I don't think so we expect this from them. Actually, they have in their own business, they have certain rules, but it won't work similarly. Here, he got a result of his trust, as he trust over the lady, but lady won't be able to fulfill this demand. He thought that that lady will spare him, but it won't possible for him. So because she was belongs to a same category, so he at the end I would like to say that this honor is such a big word, and this is a very comic proverb, this which is used for this kind of persons and this kind of situations. I hope you liked it. You will thoroughly enjoy the thrill that why such a girl behave like in a way, and whenever it disclosed that the things are different. So I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoy the thrill of this lesson. Have a good time ahead. Bye bye.